Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. You know, when I first caught wind that Frauditor Troll was going to do another debate with Fupa, I thought it would be an exercise in futility, because this guy has no common sense whatsoever. You can't keep Fupa on a topic. You can't keep him from going off tangent into self-aggrandizing rhetoric that really goes nowhere, has no substantive value to the discussion whatsoever, or debate, whatever you want to call it. And he lacks the humility to figure out when he's wrong, unlike Big Wes Audit, who was young enough to figure out that this is not the way to go for him, and he'd quit YouTube altogether because he felt that he had better things to do. But this guy, he's a complete narcissist. Because ultimately, debating a narcissist is like playing chess with a pigeon. They'll knock down all the pieces, declare victory, and shit on the board. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the debate yesterday.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to do a little bit of a pre-show while we wait for FAPA. I think this is going to be really, really interesting. But honestly, I don't think he stands a chance to look good after when I'm done with him, because I'm really prepared. I'm very prepared for this. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait 5 minutes, see if he shows up. He's supposed to be live streaming it to his audience, which I really do hope he does that, because at the same time, there would be no way to edit, and he would have to show them live what's going on. And I think we could change some minds, possibly.
Now, for those of us who were curious, like myself, I sat in there waiting with the, wonderment if this idiot would never show up and defend his own arguments. But alas, after nearly 25 minutes of waiting, we were sorely disappointed in him. Nah, I wasn't really disappointed. In fact, I expected this kind of thing.
The StreamYard, and I don't know if my StreamYard is messed up right now or not. I don't know what's going on with that. I was going to do a live on StreamYard for you guys so I could show you some videos, but seeing as how the time is quickly running away from me and I didn't want to be too late on this whole thing, I figured I'd just go live on my phone and talk to you guys instead. But
yeah, I know StreamYard has its issues, but it's generally workable. But this sounds like a pathetic excuse right here. Oh, my StreamYard wasn't working. But wait, it gets a lot better than this.
Sorry, just to start this off, again, to anybody that was looking forward to the live with Frauditor Troll here today, this, good, thank you, cool. So yeah, anybody that was looking forward to the live today with Frauditor Troll, I talked with some people that I have in this community to back me here, that support me and love me. Got a lot of people hitting me up all the time. So thank you to them for always steering me in the right direction. First of all, I have many, many good friends and many great people in this community that are always willing to help and always willing to give me the word of advice that they wish they had when they were starting this. So overall, just to start it off, I've already done a live debate with Frauditor Troll before, and there is nothing to debate. There is nothing to debate. When you're going against the Constitution, something that's been tried, true and tested many times, brought through the court, brought through the Supreme Court, and when your standpoint on the whole thing is you're annoying, so you don't get constitutional rights.
That's quite a little straw man argument right there, my boy. Too bad it doesn't hold any water whatsoever. I, for one, have never said that any frauditor deserves to have their rights taken away from them. But on the other hand, idiots like Goat Boy and others have tried to say that I don't have any rights because my full-time job is a government employee, which we all know that's a load of frickin' bullshit, and I challenge any frauditor out there to prove that I don't have any rights whatsoever.
There is nothing to debate with you. I told him time and time again to not be calling this a debate, because simply it was an interview. But he still calls it a debate when there's really nothing to debate. So I've already done this once with him. And there's another big main problem that I have. One of my last requests last time, almost a year ago when we did this thing before, was to have him just show his face. I can sit here and go live and talk to my phone just like I am right now, and talk to my screen and talk to you guys at the same time. And I also get hundreds and thousands of emails about people complaining about what I do, people loving what I do.
The refusal to show one's face in a debate does not take away from the validity of an argument. If the argument has any merit whatsoever, any facts to it, or anything else like that, then what is the point of showing the face to begin with? There's a term for this in a rhetorical discourse. It is called an ad hominem. It's generally an attack on the person giving the argument rather than the argument itself, and it shows that, generally shows that the person has no legitimate points themselves.
And I could just sit there and read my emails, my hate emails myself, and I could just sit there and read them myself. There's no reason. You guys can go and sit in his chat and can go lick his boots like you guys do to the police. And when you sit and you talk about one of my later videos and you say that you wish the police went back to how they were policing in the 80s and 90s when there was no camera.
No cameras back in the 80s or 90s? Oh my goodness, boy, are you that damn stupid? Someone managed to take a video of the Rodney King incident, and what about the riots of the 1960s? What were those things that they recorded the police brutality back then with? Were they called something else other than cameras? But you know what? I am not going to go into any more of this kid's stupidity. I mean, it's just not worth it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key talking points that Frauditor Troll was wanting to discuss with this little mental midget.
Not too bad.
Lawsuits, they're going terrible. The lawsuits are going terribly, and we'll look at that in just a moment. We're going to let him cope for some time. Let's talk about what I was going to question him. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk to FAPA about was that he is a big Amagansett Press fan, and it truly shows in his content. It truly shows in his content because he loves his selective editing. That was my first point. Look at this. I'm going to put it on 1.5. Take a look at this, guys. And remember, yes, it is a diss track, Parsons. You're 100% correct. Keep in mind that frauditors and lens lickers, they don't have the objectivity to analyze the frauditor's video, seconds by seconds, look into the details. They just see a cop and their mind goes blank. They get enraged. But we, on the other hand, can look at things objectively. And I want you to take a look at this.
If you're going to talk to me, you talk to me with respect.
No.
And learn some manners, Sonny.
No, Sonny.
Did you guys see that?
Oh yes, I saw that little jump cut right there. In fact, I see it in so many Frauditor videos, it's freaking ridiculous. There's just one moment where they're having that kind of conversation with the police officer, and then something happens and, well, you just don't know what it is. It's usually something that the frauditor wants to hide. Case in point, there was this dumbass Elmo video here recently where he was antagonizing a female UFC fighter, and, well, there was a bit of a jump cut. But luckily, his friend, who was also there, failed to edit that little conversation out, and, well, dumbass Elmo was talking smack to her. I guess he didn't want that part to be shown on the video, so yeah, he edited it out of his own, but the other guy, he didn't.
At 4:45, there was a subtle cut. Just a little cut, and you can barely notice it if you're not really paying attention.
Manners, Sonny.
No, Sonny.
You see, the officer is standing here, then he's standing here. So what that means is that there was something that this officer said that he didn't want his audience to know. He didn't want his audience to know about this. Or it means that he said something that he didn't want his audience to know. So you see, when I was going to present this to FAPA, there is no way he could have explained this. Why would you cut a couple seconds in mid-conversation, but you want to leave a bunch of dead air? So basically, he's lying to his viewers. He's trying to make things up. He's trying to fit his narrative, and he's lying to his viewers. So I was going to ask him what was in that cut.
Troll, you know just as well as I do that he would have never answered that. He would have continued to make himself look bigger and badder than he actually is through self-aggrandizing rhetoric. He did it on your debate last year. He did it on Dr. Dave's debate as well. It was rather annoying as can be. It's just showing that he has no argument to begin with. Now I'm going to show one more clip and then I'm going to call it on this video. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage, shall we?
The next thing I wanted to talk about, I think personally, I think that just talking about the editing and the fact that he pepper sprays women and backs out from men would have sealed the deal. Let me know in the side chat if you think that would have been enough to secure the win. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I think that would have been more than enough. His excuse is that his friends in the community said no, said don't do it. So that would have been more than enough, in my opinion, because it just totally explains how he's a coward. So that was one thing. But then another thing we wanted to take a look at that I was going to talk to him about if he had the nuts to come up on the live stream would be his lawsuits, because his lawsuits are a massive joke. There's 2 lawsuits. There's Medaglia versus Allendale Police Department. And as you can see here, why don't we read it together? Plaintiff John Medaglia, who is representing himself, filed this lawsuit against defendant Allendale Police. He brings this action pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. Medaglia also raises state claims, and when you look at the lawsuit, he said, I was in the public area of the post office at 315 Augusta Highway filming my transaction when the defendant subsequently arrested me for expressing my First Amendment rights and took my ID after refusing to identify myself. Then he took me outside against my will to arrest and book me. I asked the court to grant me $400,000 for all punitive damages for the alleged violations, as well as intentional infliction of emotional distress. Oh, poor FAPA. I would also like a written apology from the defendants regarding said violation. Now, what happened to this lawsuit? Oh, yeah, that's right. It got dismissed. It got thrown out. It says, after a thorough review of the report and the record in this case, pursuant to the standards set forth above, the court overrules Medaglia's 3 objections, adopts the report, and incorporates it herein. It is therefore the judgment of the court's defendant motion for summary judgment is granted. Lawsuit was tossed out. Keeps talking about a $4 million lawsuit. Now, what about Medaglia versus Middleton? Another lawsuit. I wonder what happened there. Oh, yeah, that's right. Dismissed without prejudice. Tossed out. He can file it again if he wants. Still going to get tossed out. His lawsuits are getting tossed the fuck out. His lawsuits are garbage. Now, that would have really... There's nothing he can say about that. He can say, oh, yeah, I did a mistake. I'll file it again. It was without prejudice, so he can file it again. So what? Frauditors file lawsuits all the time. They always get tossed out. Name me one frauditor that received $1 million from a lawsuit. Hasn't happened. It has not happened. Sometimes they can get 5 to 6 figures settlements, like Karen Benson got. Very lucky, $130,000. But the lawsuits get tossed out.
And I can understand why they got tossed out because, well, he has no skills in the law whatsoever and decided to go pro se, wrote up his own lawsuits, and got laughed out of court because of it. Because, he doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. With that and his poor debate performance with Dr. Dave and Frauditor Troll last year, I can understand why the other frauditors talked him out of this, because the guy has no skills when it comes to debating. Some of the other frauditors have debate skills that, well, ensure that they can try to talk their opponent into a corner and declare victory or something like that. But he just tries to make himself look bigger than he is, and that's rather pathetic. So what we have here is a giant coward who pepper sprays unarmed women, backs away from men who can defend themselves, and backs away from debates that, well, probably would have benefited him if he even tried to get on there, because it had gotten him more exposure. But no, he exposed that yellow streak down his back, which is a mile long, by backing out and making all sorts of excuses, saying he's already discussed things with Frauditor Troll a year ago. But you know what? These are events that have taken place recently, and, well, sometimes you just gotta explain yourself on what your point is. That way you can convince your own audience of how you want to go about things. But you know what? He was too cowardly to defend his own position. But not all frauditors are this cowardly. In fact, I can remember Vegas Vips going up against Dummy Kruger, and, well, while he didn't look good in the debate, at least he showed up and debated Dummy Kruger and still lost. But you know what? At least he tried to defend his position. And there are other frauditors who have done the exact same thing with Frauditor Troll, Dr. Dave, and other anti-auditors out there. And as such, I wonder if the last two debates with Frauditor Troll and Dr. Dave left him feeling rather inadequate, so therefore that might be the reason why he refused to debate Frauditor Troll this time, because he would leave with a feeling of absolute inadequacy. And that might be it right there, because, a lot of narcissists gotta have that feeling of control, and that probably made him feel utterly powerless at that point, and that, to a frauditor, is unacceptable and something that they would want to avoid at all costs, because the reason why they do their frauditing is so they can feel powerful. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
This could be some groundbreaking stuff right here.
You don't want to go to jail.
For what?
You read this.
I don't have to listen to
Read it.
anything. Blah, 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 blah.
Dude, so there's no way I can get in, bro? Come on, I'll put you on my YouTube.
But shut up, Wesley.
You gotta put signs up, ma'am, if it's...
Are you Glenn Serio?
Who's that?